Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Hello, I'm Professor Code and this is the Forex Super Model weekly review for Monday 25th of the 10th to Friday the 29th of the 10th 2021. We're going to have a look at the week's flows first and then do some analysis. So anyway, that week then, the euro dollar minus 84. So over that period, 25th to the 29th, the euro dollar as an FX pair lost 84 points or pips. Euro yen minus 40. Euro pound minus 23, pound dollar minus 70, pound yen minus 21, and the dollar yen plus 38. If you plug that into the formula, you get a positive opposed driver in the dollar at plus 192. Front and back door flows mainly coming out the euro at minus 147, out the pound at minus 68, and the yen was the positive rock at plus 23. Activity plus or minus 215. Right, so over the week then we had a strong dollar driving in an opposed manner, and the bulk of it coming out the euro complex. Right, we'll stop it there and write up the asset classes and then move it on. So don't go away. Right, we've written up the asset classes then. So US dollar index. Basically, previously we had this big pump up in the dollar index. Came back. The low was probably about 0.4, came off about 40%, and then yesterday we had this big pump up in the dollar. It's now at 0.20 from the high, so it's 20% below the modelled high. It's had a significant pump up yesterday. Gold won't like a stronger dollar and has gone below half marks, 0.43 from the floor. Oils did this large break. It broke over 40% from the resistance, and it's just it's still high. It's come back about an eighth, 0.125 from the high. Wall Street, S&P Tech, they've all got the same look. Basically, they did a break, and then they're holding above this break now at new highs. The tech was lagging, but it's now caught up to a certain degree. US 10-year in the bund, this is the prices. We had this drop off in price, rising yields in both of them, and then we've had this bounce in price, fall off in yields, and the US 10-year is 0.24 from the floor, 24% from the floor, and the bund is 0.17, 17% from the floor. So arguably the bund has bounced less in price, so arguably euro bund yields are marginally higher than the US 10-year, so that's where we are there. Copper has been chopping about, did a significant break, but it's now come back. It's 0.45 from the floor, so it's below half marks. And US steel is finally showing some signs of life again. It's 0.40 from the high, so it's above half marks, 40% below the high. Right, what's been knocking it about, or going to knock it about? Well, next week we've got basically early on we've got inflation data. Tuesday the 2nd we've got the Reserve Bank of Australia rates decision. Wednesday the 3rd we've got ADP. As soon as you get ADP, you know it's likely to be NFP week, non-farm payrolls. Wednesday we've got the Fed rates decision, and Thursday the 4th we've got the Bank of England rates decision, and Friday we've got NFP non-farm payroll. So we've got 3 rates decisions coming through, and we've had a lot of rates decisions this week just gone. So it's coming thick and fast. Right, we'll stop it there and write up the data cycle, which is our version of the economic calendar, before we do the final analysis. Right, we've written up the data cycle information then. So China tier 1 negative, tier 2 neutral, dollar tier 1 slightly positive, tier 2 very positive, German tier 1 negative, tier 2 neutral, euro tier 1 positive, tier 2 negative, yen neutral, pound neutral, CAD tier 1 mildly positive, tier 2 very positive, AUD tier 1 pretty positive, tier 2 pretty negative, NZD tier 1 positive, tier 2 strongly negative, and the Swiss neutral. So what have we got then in the main areas? Then we've got tier 2 on the dollar, very strong. tier 2 on the CAD, strong, and AUD tier 2 and NZD tier 2 negative. So that's where we are there. Let's have a look at the flows again to remind you then. So this week we've had a positive driver in the dollar and euro weakness, bit of pound weakness, and mild yen strength over the week. Last week we had the yen driving to the exclusion of all else at plus 211, and dollar weakness at minus 123, bit of pound weakness, and the euro was the negative rock. And previous to that we had significant yen weakness, about 1200 points off the complex, so that was two weeks or so back. So we're seeing a sort of the yen plus 23, and so we're seeing the yen's still about 1,000 points weak on net on the complex. So that's where we are there. So let's have a look then. So if we look at the dollar, the euro, the yen, and the pound, the CAD, the AUD, NZD, and the Swiss. Right. So we've got this this Fed rates decision coming up on I think it's let's grab this. Wednesday, is it Wednesday? Yeah, Fed on the Wednesday the 3rd. We've had the euro rates decision. We've had the yen rates decision. We've got the pound on rates decision to come. We've had the CAD, and we've got the AUD Reserve Bank of Australia rates decision to come. So we've got where are we there? So we've got those three rates decisions in the tube. And we've had significant race decisions. We've had the New Zealand as well. So they've come thick and fast last week through to next week. So anyway, race decision is going to be out of the way. The dollar was positioned very weakly before they did the Friday pump. And if you look at where are we? If you look at Friday's flows, the dollar was driving positively by plus 270, so the driver was the opposed positive driver. Front and back door flows with mainly coming out the euro at minus 231, and a bit of pound weakness as minus 167, and the yen was the positive rock at plus 128. So the damage was done to the euro, or the positivity was done to the dollar on Friday, and you know, if you look at the general stuff on the net, they're talking about year-end, month-end buying and all this stuff. Well, yeah, obviously it was month-end buying, otherwise the dollar wouldn't have gone up. But ultimately, if you look at the general positioning, it does look like the dollar got oversold really. And if you look at the data cycle, you can see that the dollar data cycle is very strong on the tier 2 and neutral to positive on the tier 1. So there was no real reason to have the dollar, except it was a hangover from sort of noise and all the rest of it with relativity to the euro and so on. So anyway, what's going to happen next week then? So we've got NFP, we've got rates decisions. We've got a bit of a recovery in the dollar. Equities are now punching above their highs, and we've not done much trading recently, but we had a little go at being net long the Nasdaq for it to play catch up, and it did. So that's something. But the FX has been difficult. But equities then, so equities have got this sort of break look. Gold is now below half marks, and oil is strong as well. It looks like we're going to have a continuation in the oil pump. Equities, I would suggest there's no real reason for them to come off at the moment. Equities are likely to come up. The yen has had a little rise. So I would suggest we're going to get risk on running into early next week, Monday and Tuesday, and then maybe the brakes will be put on. So you're likely to see rising equities, risk on transmissions. So you're likely to see a bounce in the AUD and the NZD and maybe the CAD off the back of oil, and then possibly a little bit of tempering in the yen and the dollar. So you're going to see standard sort of risk off flows probably Monday and Tuesday. The inflation data is in the tube, and it's likely to be pretty much all factored in into the game. So and then once we get to Wednesday, the ADP report will probably bring focus back to the American jobs market. So that's where we are. So probably Monday and Tuesday we're going to be looking for equities on the up, and then all the usual transmissions, weak yen, probably a neutral to weak dollar again, and the euro will probably be neutral to backdoor flow strong, and the pound might even perk up as well. So that's where we are, but the pound's got a rates decision on the Thursday, so it's quite a complex picture. We'll know a bit more. We'll know a bit more on Monday morning when we can see the Asian flows, but that's what we think is most likely. So hope that was useful. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.